And we're back. We're live. And Theo, no, we are not in Jigsaw time, whatever that means. I'll talk to you about that later. But here we are back again. This is Nikki. This is Tony. This is Adam. A nice break, a nice week off, which was wonderful. I'll be honest with you. I didn't, as much as I love everybody, I didn't miss you guys at all for a week. It was a nice break. But now we're back. 7 games tonight. NBA DFS pre-lock show. As always, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. At Win Daily Sports is where you find us on all social formats. Make sure you check the articles every day that Adam and Nick provide. I tweeted it out as well again to make sure you get that to see what the plays are, the projection models, everything tonight. FFVPs, props for profit, you name it. Fresh off the All-Star break. Adam, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Pretty good. I definitely watched more than my share of Netflix serial killer documentaries and ESPN 30 for 30s during my week off.
Nothing wrong with that.
Had an enjoyable time. Good week, man.
Yeah, man. I listen, I'm gonna be honest, Ghost. I could have went till Monday. Just throwing it out there, man.
No, I couldn't have. This was long enough. I need NBA in my life.
He's Jones, and look at him. He's Jones, and that's what it is.
Long enough, man. This was it was a long break, but it was a pretty good all-star weekend. Gotta say, it was pretty entertaining. Outside of the dunk competition, that was absolutely abysmal. But besides that,
trash. But
I feel bad for those guys, man. I do. It's
a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation.
It's tough, man. You're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? Right. Like, nobody's ever going to be Jordan and Neek. Nobody's ever going to be Lavine and Gordon again. It just is what it is. So it's hard. And the 3-point contest is where it's at now. That's where it's at. Everybody wants to watch 3-point contest. And if it's funny, if you guys think about it, it kind of gravitates towards today's NBA, right? So back when Neek and Jordan, it was all about the dunk. Now it's all about the three. It's not about the dunk, right? So it just falls in line. So I think they'll change it up. I felt bad. I think Obi Toppin could have been a lot better if some of his dunks would hit the way he was very athletic. But we'll see what happens. But All-Star game, guys. Steph Curry. Come on, man. Steph is Jesus. 16 threes, 5. I mean, Ghost, can we do a little shimmy shake on this show? Courtesy of Steph Curry, man. I'll tell you.
I will say this. I don't know how many Steph MVP tickets I have at this point. It's like flashback of last season, but
you have too many.
Yeah, and I got some more when Chris Paul's injury came out, because if the Warriors steal that 1 seed, it's because Steph's going to go on a run. So if anyone's looking for a good value in a future bet, I do like Steph for MVP. I got it at plus 1,600. He was as low as like plus 150, plus 200 at one point. So if you're able to get it around that number, even like anything above plus 1,200, definitely has my interest peaked right now with everybody focusing on Giannis, Embiid, Joker, etc. I do like Steph in that longer range, because with CP3 now pretty much done for the rest of the regular season, Warriors are going to grab that 1 seed. Steph can go on a run.
I agree, and I know this is a DFS, a little sprinkle of sports betting, but just on an NBA talk, I'll tell you what. I'll ask you guys the same question I asked on Tuesday night on Heat Ratio Live, and I said, if Steph Curry gets that number 1 seed, because obviously he's going to get that number 1 seed if they get it, and he gets the NBA Finals, I mean, does that just cement his legacy? Because he's the guy now that hasn't gone anywhere else to get a ring. He's not Kevin Durant. He's not Kawhi, right? He's not LeBron. He stayed there, and that team is so strong, and they didn't even have to rebuild. They just retooled. So I don't know, Adam. I mean, does this kind of cement his legacy as being a GOAT?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much should be there already, but there'd be just no denying it if they get to the finals this year. And just by that same token of what Ghost is talking about, if you're taking shots at long shot guys, Booker's 1,800. If the Suns hold on to that 1 seed without Chris Paul, it's like, I mean, Devin Booker has had a fantastic year to start with, but that team's so loaded he doesn't quite get the attention he deserves, and I get why not. But, I mean, if they hold that 1 seed, 1,800 is not bad odds either, because Booker's going to have to be the show for the next few weeks.
Yeah, no, 100%. And one thing I will say, I see B second in says, Steph should be MVP. And I know, Adam, you just mentioned Embiid, but let me ask you this real fast before we get to the cores. Ghost, do you think that Harden coming to Philly kind of diminishes some of the Embiid MVP value just from a sharing a ball kind of standpoint?
Yeah, it does. And what I was saying around Christmas time is that, like, at the time, I grabbed my Embiid MVP tickets midseason, and I said it at the beginning of the season, and then I doubled down around November and December when Philly was, I think they were around like 16 and 13. I don't know their exact record. They were floating just above 500, and they were a 7 seed in the East. And then they had this run where on their upcoming schedule, it was actually on JJ's show, we were talking about it. They had the Hornets twice, they had the Magic twice, they had Houston, they had all these matchups where they were essentially going to go 8 or 9-0. And that's where we grabbed a 5,000 to 1 Embiid MVP ticket. And that's where I grabbed the value there. Right now I'm out because not only does James Harden arrival complicate that, I just don't see the value in grabbing him anything like outside an absurd number. And I'm talking like 2,000 to 1 and above, because he's going to sit out some games in the second half. Like now Philly's made it crystal clear that they are going all in this season, even though it's not acquiring a million impact guys. And the NBA is a star-driven league. Everyone knows that. So for them to acquire James Harden, that is them signaling the fact that they're going all in and they're not wasting Joel Embiid's prime anymore. And he's having an MVP type season. But even with Harden on the court, whether he's on or off the court, it doesn't really impact the fact that Joel Embiid logged some serious minutes in this first half. And now's the time post All-Star break for him to sit out a couple back-to-backs. And I'm sorry, you can't win MVP when you're playing 65 games in a season. So that's where he's already missed a healthy bunch because of injury. It wasn't because of rest or anything like that. He was out legitimately injured for a couple of games. And now if he's missing close to 15 to 20 games this season, he's not an MVP candidate in my eyes. Even if Philly gets the 1 seed, even if he remains as dominant as he has been with Harden on the court, even if he keeps up the exact same numbers, he's not an MVP candidate if he plays 65 games, in my opinion.
And that's something Jokic does have an advantage, because he just does not sit. Like, he'll sit if he's hurt, but he does not take games off for rest. And I mean, Denver can't afford it anyways, but he just doesn't do it.
This is true. And the one thing I will say, last thing before we move to cores, is, keep an eye on Joel Embiid's wrist. It was something he heard about 3 weeks ago. He gets it taped every night, every now and then. He's been missing some free throws because of his free throw stroke because of it. So just something to keep an eye out, to just say exactly what Ghost is saying. There's going to be some games now that the little weight has been lifted off of Joel Embiid's shoulders, because there's another superstar like he had with Jimmy Butler, where he could take some time off and somebody else can be the closer. So, but let's get to these games. 7 games, obviously. We got about 20 minutes left to go in the show, so we can get all our bets together and get all our lineups in. But 7 games, some specific games. We'll do it like we always do. Goes to start to you. I know you guys write the article up every single day, but just tell everybody, what's that one game or one that you has your eye on that's going to be very productive for everybody?
Adam, you covering the Memphis game, or are you going Memphis?
I didn't put one of those guys in my core, but I'm still planning on having some exposure there for sure.
All right, so I'll let you touch on that one. I'm going all in on the Atlanta-Chicago game. Trae Young on the road versus the Bulls, somewhat healthy Bulls now, with Zach Lavine, Vooch, and DeRozan all playing in this game. Lavine's been really banged up, especially pre-All-Star break there. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fast-paced. Grades out really well in my model in terms of game environment. Both this one and the Memphis-Minnesota game grade out as far and away the 2 best. Like there's those 2 games, there's 100 feet, and then there's the rest of these games. So
yeah,
that's where, for me, I'm all in on those ones. And for Atlanta, Chicago, it's a star-driven matchup, and that's where I'm going with my core tonight. DDR has been amazing. It's a really high price to play to pay, but at the same time, that's we're throwing it up there right away. All right, so
Trae, that's a core, man. I'm all over.
The back and forth between Trae and DeRozan for me is going to be huge. If you go Lavine for the savings, I'm a-okay with that also. Zach Lavine grades out really well for me tonight, especially in that 2-guard spot against the likes of Kevin Huerter. He is going to dodge the matchup against DeAndre Hunter, which that concept alone makes me like Lavine a ton tonight. But it's still DeMar DeRozan's team. So either one for me, I'm cool with either one. If you show me a Lavine lineup with Trae Young on the way back, I'm going to say yes. If you show me a DDR Trae Young lineup, I'm okay with it. And then two of the value plays, look, I put Rondo and Aaron Holiday up there. Everyone's going to play them tonight. Everyone in the field is going to play Rondo and Aaron Holiday. If Brandon Goodwin ends up getting the start or Rajon Rondo, don't be surprised to see Brandon Goodwin replace Rajon Rondo in terms of rostership there tonight. But for me, the one thing that I wanted to point out was this Portland Trail Blazers value. Nurkic is now down, and Portland has 8 guys left. You have guys like Greg Brown, Watford, like they're all minimum price. And I get it. Winslow, Hart, and Simons are all going to dominate touches for them, and they are going to see the bulk of the minutes. Everyone's going to see the bulk of the minutes because they're only down to 8 guys. But when we're talking about this $3,900, $4,000 range, the Rondos, the Goodwins, the Aaron Holidays, the Cam Johnsons, etc., and everybody's going to play them. If you're going $1,000 cheaper, instead of playing two of those guys, like pairing Rondo and Aaron Holiday, you could go to a Greg Brown or a Watford and then go from Rondo or Holiday up to a guy like Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I love tonight.
Yeah,
right. So get more exposure to that Atlanta Chicago game again. Like the $5,000 range is, I don't want to say loaded. It's a pretty tough word to describe the $5,000 range on any given night. Everyone knows I hate the mid range in NBA DFS, but that's where it's at for me tonight. To be able to decide between the Rondos, the Holidays, etc. If Cam Johnson isn't coming in chalky, I love Cam Johnson also. Like he's right in there with the Blazers for me. But the key is like just to point out that if you're starting your build with Rondo and Aaron Holiday, especially both of them together, or Brandon Goodwin if he starts because of the green checkmark syndrome, just know that everybody in the field is doing that. And then they're going up to Joker. They're going up to Trae Young. They're going up to Ja Morant. Like, at what point do you get different? So that's where, for me, I'm likely going a little heavier on the Blazers value in tournaments tonight.
I like
Cam Johnson's 3.6% for the record.
I'm all in on Cam Johnson now.
3.6%, bro.
Say less. That's all you need to know about Cam Johnson. Book slides to the 1. This offense rolls beautifully with Cam Johnson at the 4, Mikal Bridges at the 3. All in. That's say less. That's perfect.
I love this because this makes me feel good. This makes me feel good because, again, I tell you guys all the time, I pivot to these two guys. I'm very comfortable in my playing skills, but these two guys are the main experts. And it's great when I look and I see, but, here's my core right here. That's before everything. Obviously, I'm a Ja guy. So BIC checking in Ja Rule. Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. 100%. Ja Morant just going to continue his stardom tour right now. Zach Lavine for 8,700. I think in that game, that's cheap, man. You got to go Zach Lavine. I mean, like Ghost said, just exactly what he said. If you want to drop your value down a little bit from DDR and you want to go, with Zach Lavine, that's where I'm going. And then my kind of mix up here, a change up, is Robert Williams from the Boston Celtics, because 2 words, Andre Drummond stinks on defense. Okay, so I'm playing at 7,400 for me for Robert Williams. This could be every bit of a 35 to 40 point night for the Boston Celtics. And then you mentioned Aaron Holiday. Listen, you guys know me and Adam talked off air. I wanted Aaron Holiday in a Sixers uniform as a backup point guard, but he goes out there to Phoenix and he's going to play a ton of minutes, man. And he's very, very productive. Listen, again, Aaron Holiday for me is going to be in my course. A little different than usual. I usually go with 3 primetime big money players, mixed up a little bit because these are the guys that caught my eye. Now, Adam, here we go. And again, it's so funny. Adam, there's Adam's score. Check it out.
Yeah, I do have to point out that Lavine is 7,900 on FanDuel as well. So, like, if you're on FanDuel, he's almost like a stone cold lock.
Yeah, 7,900.
I mean, yeah, it's almost a free square even in GPPs. I can't pass that up. But regardless, we talked about Aaron Holiday. We talked about Rondo. If Goodwin gets a start, like Ghost mentioned, you're going to see the field flock to that. I'll sub into that because my cores tend to be a little bit more cash for you guys. Jigsaw and Ghost are a little bit more on the GPP side, so I can lead you into the cores later on in the Discord. And then, Jokic is the only player above 11K on DK tonight. There's other players that have his upside. I'm not going to argue that, but he is the safest floor ceiling combo that you can have. And even with the Kings bringing in Sabonis, that doesn't scare me defensively off Jokic whatsoever. Denver's trying to make a push to at least hold a top 4 seed in the West. For when Jamal Murray gets back. And Trae Young, without John Collins, who's doubtful, I mean, he's averaging 1.5 points per minute without Collins right off the hop, let alone the game environment, and he's still under 10K. Like there's just no reason he should be under 10K tonight.
And listen, we talk about this all the time. Pricing is key. I love when Ghost says the green check mark theory because it's very, very true, man. It's like, all right, everybody gravitates toward those green check marks, right? So you got to be different. You got to mix it up. So, but again, we don't talk before this show and say, hey, who you got? We put these in and then we kind of throw them up on the screen. And it's so funny after we put them, we're like, oh my God, we're kind of like in the same, context here. But it's because, we're wired that way, right? But one way we're wired too is we got to keep this heat up with these value plays. So again, the FFVPs are 100% huge. If you hit on these guys, we've been on a hot streak. At least 2 out of our 3 every single show wind up hitting. And again, these are guys that are going to be low value. They could be high ownership, but they're still low value and give you max production. So when we get to the FFVPs, we're going to see if we go 3 for 3 tonight. Now, for me, it's funny. We've already mentioned these 2 guys. And again, it's a no-brainer to me, right? You get Rajon Rondo under 4,000, 3,900 is going to play a ton of minutes out there in Cleveland. We already know that. And we already talked about the Watford factor, right? When you have a team with tons of value out there for Portland that's going to have a very, very short bench. So these guys are going to get tons of minutes. And for that price tag, if you build your core up, like Adam just said, and you're going with Joker, you're going with Trae, and you don't want to pivot to Lavine, and you go to DDR, and then maybe you go with a guy like Rondo or Watford at that low value. So I think that's where kids. They're going to be my FFVPs for me. Now, Adam, you go Golden State, and you're going Kevin Looney.
Yeah, I mean, with Nurkic being out, that interior for Portland is even worse. And it's not like Nurkic was Mr. Defense at the to start with. So listen, like Watford's around the top 10 in ownership. Clint Capella's drawing some ownership. Jokic is top 5. So a lot of people are, playing their center spots in other places. And yeah, Watford's $1,000 cheaper, but if you find a way to get up that $1,000, nobody's playing Kevon Looney, and I don't blame them. Like that's not a sizzling name for DFS. Nobody's waking up being like, "Hell yeah, buddy, I'm putting in Kevon Looney into this lineup." But this is a guy who's only 4,400. It's a tough spot to fill some nights. But if you go that double center route, he could easily put up 30 DK in the spot.
I could see that. 100%. I like it. I like the play. I love Golden State. I'm all over Golden State, whether guys like Kuminga. I know we haven't mentioned Klay Thompson, who's getting back to full strength. I mean, we went to start, but everybody. Looney's he's going to, and here's the thing about Looney, he's going to get you double-digit rebounds no matter what. And now
if
tonight,
a couple putbacks, you're flirting with the double line too.
Yeah, you're playing with guys who are going to be shooting 33s a game, so you're always in that with no Draymond. It's a great play. Ghost, you got an FFVP tonight?
Cam Johnson, 4,300, all in.
Ooh,
all in.
I like it.
Everyone's like a lot of people are playing. I didn't know he was 3%. Thanks for that, Adam. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Because everyone's playing Holiday, Booker. Those 2 are like top 3 right now.
No one's concerned about Landry Shamet coming back. No one's concerned. No one's like Aaron Holiday's just gonna waltz into Chris Paul's role and dish out 15 dimes.
I mean, I'm not caping up for the guy, but they do have Elf Payton too.
They do.
Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying hey, look at this
He's
guy.
He's a great play. He's a great play. Don't get me wrong, but at that rostership, at that rostership, that's I'm going to Cam Johnson. I'm going to Cam Johnson.
It's going to be a fun night. That's all I gotta say. It's going to be a fun night with a bunch of these plays, and what better way to get these props for profit? So again, remember, not only are FFAPs doing well, but the props for profit doing well as well. And we love the interaction with everybody. Everybody's throwing something out there, whether it be combos, DK specials, SGPs, no matter what they are, we're getting them out there, and we're getting really close to hitting one of those big meteor shots. I'm not going to call it moon shots because that's already shared by my man Kenny. So we'll go meteor shots, and we're getting big. And I know I got a few tonight, so I'm interested. I know Adam's got some as well. So we're going to get right away. Don't forget at Win Daily Sports. Go check us out on Twitter. Hashtag props for profit. We want to get this trending. We want to get it viral. We want to keep it going throughout the entire sports betting community. So let us know what they are. Throw it on there. Probably about 6:30. You'll see a tweet go up. Some props for profit for whether it be the 7 o'clock tip off, the 8 o'clock tip, and the late game as well. So make sure you get involved with that and give us who you got. So let's go right off the bat. And it's funny. So I'll keep the bonus for later. But for me, I thought this was very, very easy play here. Ja Morant with what he's been able to do, from whether scoring the ball or dishing the ball, right? So again, this is a number that he's come close to 4 out of the last 5, but the last game against Portland, he drops 11. So Minnesota has the epitome of an average defense, right? So I think they're between like 15 and 18. So middle of the road. Ja Morant's on another level tonight. He's going to be dishing like crazy. So for me to get plus money at over 7.5, I think it was a no-brainer. So for me, that is the play, going all in with Jota twice in my court. And here's an interesting one that I like. Right? I like DeAndre Hunter over 1.5 3-pointers made. And again, every now and then, you get certain players that just stick out to you. And he's hit at least 1-3 in his last 5 games. We just talked about this Atlanta-Chicago game. Going to be a lot of scoring in this game, right? So going to be a lot. So he's shooting around 38% over the last 3, but because of certain players, like I don't know what's going on with Clint Capella, and I know he's only a small forward, but Clint Capella is only playing like 20 to 25 minutes. So they're shifting guys around. It's going to give DeAndre Hunter probably 30 minutes plus tonight. And when he gets 35 to 38 minutes, he's hitting 2+. So again, another plus money. You're only talking about hitting 2 threes tonight. And listen, he's averaged 15 in 3 games. Okay, meaning attempts. All you need to do is hit 2 of them. So I think this is very, very realistic. And for me, my third props for profit, this is a big one. Again, you got to shoot high. Okay, you got to shoot high. Now, Vooch has hit this rebound number once in the past 10 games. Okay, there's no reason why he can't get 25 points a night. So I think the 25 is easy to get. The 16 boards could be the number that you're really going to sweat out. But this is a plus $1,200 bet. This is a big bet, right? So, and what I mean by that is you got to take the risk, right? You got to take the risk. So he's been double-digit rebounds. He's actually hit 2 out of the last 5. Okay, so, and he's been above 25 points 3 out of the last 5. So if the game script is going the way Adam and Ghost project, I think this is a really good plus $1,200 bet. And again, it's tough. I'm not calling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, not saying to bet the mortgage on it, but this is a good meteor shot that we can get, man, 100%. So Adam, right away, you're going to Dimes with Lavine, another great name.
Yeah, this is one I wrote up in the article. We're gonna try and add a bet of the night as long as we can. The night before, sometimes it'll work, sometimes we'll have to update it during the day. But with Lonzo Ball and Caruso still out, Lavine has a 21% usage rate. We've talked about the game environment 18 times already tonight. I mean, for minus 105, I'm absolutely all in. I really don't worry about the knee at this point. He's off the injury report. He played in the All-Star game. There's no way that knee's bugging him if he participated in All-Star week.
I agree with you. He was able to play. He played, I think, 11 or 12
minutes.
Yeah,
he didn't play many minutes, but he wouldn't have touched the floor if that knee was bothering him.
Listen, I completely agree. And then you're going with somebody from my core. I like this.
Yeah, listen, there's one of 2 ways this happens. Either A, Andre Drummond actually gets minutes, and that's fine because, again, we're not fearing him defensively, and Robert Williams averages about 10 points and like 9.7 rebounds. So he's literally averaging 0.3 rebounds under a double-double as it is. He's getting the minutes that, we always love to see around 30. I also don't really mind betting individually on Drummond double-double. He's up to plus 140. and you can same game parlay both guys to get double-double for plus 425. Because honestly, like if Drummond doesn't get minutes tonight, he's probably never going to get them with the Nets. Because who else is even going to like have a ghost of a chance against Rob Williams on the inside of there?
I agree, man.
If we know if Drummond gets the minutes, he's going to double-double.
I love that. I love the same game parlay though. I like that plus 425. That's
it's like plus 425, plus 400. Again, manage your bankroll appropriately. Don't be crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Because listen, we've seen Drummond get 17 minutes. So that outcome is entirely possible. Believe me, he bit me hard last time right before the break. I get it. But
that's because he played so much the night before.
Yeah, he played so much the night before. I mean, they need that size against Williams.
You got to remember, man. Yo, my man Andre's got a lot of junk in the trunk, like Fergie and used to say back there, right? He does. So he's got to carry a big load going down the court. So he needs to rest up every now and then. We've seen that in Philly a lot. Ghost,
he's fresh now.
Right there, boy. Trae. Go ahead. What's that, Adam?
I said he's fresh now.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Ghost, I know you love you some Trae Young.
Chicago doesn't have any perimeter defense with Lonzo out of the lineup. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no Lonzo, no Caruso is such a big bump for him. It's such a big bump.
They don't have an on-ball perimeter defender that could contain him at all. I think Trae goes for 30 and 10 tonight.
Oh, 30 and 10.
Yeah, 30 and 10.
I hope so.
30 and 10.
Little double action. Okay. And I like this next play because I was actually going to put him in my core, DeAndre Ayton, because he's only 6,900. But, talk about him, Ghost.
So I'm not playing Devin Booker tonight as much as that pains me. I wanted to. I can't make it fit. But I am playing both DeAndre Ayton and Cam Johnson now. So I absolutely love DeAndre Ayton against one of the worst front courts in the entire league. Probably one of the worst front courts that we've seen in the last decade. Isaiah Roby, a shell of Derek Favors, whomever else is left on this OKC roster. DeAndre Ayton is going to be able to absolutely feast on the glass, in the paint. He's going to do whatever he wants to out there. And for that, at 6,900 in DFS, makes him a great play on DK. And in the props market, man, 15 and a half points. He grades out really well in my model in both points and rebounds. There's a slighter edge in terms of points. So I'm going with that. You could go over 10 and a half rebounds if you like that also. But for me, it's going to be over 15 and a half for my boy DeAndre Ayton tonight. I think it's going to be a clean 20-10 double-double for DeAndre Ayton tonight.
Yeah, what's up, Javon? Checking in. He said that right as you were saying, he typed that in, Go. So
I'm cool with either one. I just it is a pretty lofty spread tonight, so I rather go to the buckets than go to the glass because they do have some quality rebounding bigs and wings out there in Phoenix, right? So Jay Crowder can attack the glass. Mikal Bridges attacks the glass pretty hard too. So we've been there before where we've gone to Crowder and Mikal Bridges props all day, especially in the playoffs. I love their props. I love the Phoenix wings, but in this game, it's going to be 8 points for me.
So go ahead. What's up?
Ayton's 12%, and on Yahoo, he's $25. Just throwing that out there.
Wow,
that's free.
$25.
So free.
Yeah, I mean on $200 budget. We did just get news that Rondo starts for Cleveland.
Ooh,
that will jack his ownership to the sky.
Oh yeah,
mega job.
Oh yeah, big time. Now,
I just want to see. I want to see 38 minutes of Chetty Osman just to stick it to the
chalk. I like that.
Come on, don't do that to us. Why we got?
Well, no, wait. You play Rondo in cash. It won't affect you in cash. I'm just saying in tournaments. I'm not down.
Yeah, but don't subject me to Chetty Osman. My God, come on. I don't want a Chetty Osman game. Get out of here. That doesn't help anybody.
I'm down for a Chetty point game, man. 38 minutes of Chetty running point.
We need another break.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Chetty running point.
Already ready.
He's gonna look like James
we got.
Harden out there.
Remember when we got that against Houston and you put up like 12 DK points?
Bro, Chetty, Jared Allen. It's basically James Harden and Joel Embiid. It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. Same combo. Get out of here. It's basically the same combo.
I hate it here.
Yeah, Ghost is talking about Chetty now. We got him wrong.
Listen, Chetty, man.
Everybody
38 minutes of Chetty.
Man. Real fast before we get out of here, there's been a lot of comments about Shy. Everybody wants to know why we're not talking about Shy. Why we're not talking about Shy. For me, listen. I'll be honest with you. I'll pivot to you guys. Talk a little real fast before we get out. But I'm not trusting him tonight. Just my own opinion. I'm not trusting him tonight. I need to wait and see approach. In my opinion, I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's 8,900. He hasn't played in a month. Devin Booker's 8,800. Trae Young's only $1,000 more in a slate where it's pretty teeming with value. That kind of says it all for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You can go and we just talked about Lavine for 8,700.
Yeah,
right?
There's too much around him, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ghost, you feel the same way?
He can play all 48 minutes. I still wouldn't play him tonight. I don't play primary ball handlers against Phoenix. Who you can't. Mikal Bridges is going to DM up. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'd rather go. I can't believe I'm about to say I would rather go down on the pricing grid to Devin Booker. Like that. If Devin Booker was 10K, I would say all right, but it's not worth it for me.
And Tone said, "Do you guys mention Simmons?" Yeah, listen, we mentioned a ton of Portland value. So Portland value reigns supreme tonight. So check it out anyway. Only a 7-8 guy main rotation. You definitely got to check that out. But as always, everybody checking in FFVPs, check them out. Same game parlays that we threw out there. And again, Props for Profit, hashtag Props for Profit, Win Daily Sports. Follow us all social formats. Make sure you get in the Discord as well. We have about probably about an hour before pre-lock, 7:10, first game tips off. So have some time. Make sure you get in there. Make sure you get those lines in. Make sure you get those Props for Profit in. We'll put them on Twitter as well. Get on that thread. Everybody, welcome back. It's been great. We'll see you tomorrow night. Everybody stay healthy. Happy betting. And remember, call 1-800-GAMBLER if you got a problem.